What is up, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News, the only call-in show somewhere. Today we're going to be talking about all of the updates, including all of the crazy lockdowns that are going to happen. We'll be right back right after this. Coming to you live from the end of the world. All right. I wish I was exaggerating, and I wish we weren't vindicated 2 months ago telling people that they should have extra stuff. Now that everything is starting to pop off, obviously it doesn't feel good this time to be vindicated because obviously all of those folks who prep and, make a point of it to prepare for things like this, they were looked at like we were crazy, and we were looked at like we're, this and that. Doesn't matter. We don't need to label ourselves right now. When something like this does happen, as you can see, all of those people are obviously, grossly unprepared for this. And that is what has caused the main problem, is because now people are freaking out. They're panicking. They're buying everything in sight. And now the people that are not prepared and are going last minute, they can't get anything. The whole point was not to tell people to go out and get everything you possibly can for a year. It was to get enough supplies. Now, mind you, I just think it's kind of funny. DHS, Department of Homeland Security, under the EMP resilience notice, told us, what was that, last year, Dex, to get 6 months to a year worth of food. And they actually told that to be suggested to every United States citizen. And then now look, just a short while later, we, of course, are in the position where we need to have all of this extra food. So we're going to talk about the 6 counties that were shut down. Dex, let's do a sound check real quick. Make sure that you are good and here.
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle fam.
So, and we're also going to talk about the updates in Italy. We're going to make sure that we are giving accurate information. In fact, if you've never been here before, my name is Adam, aka Marf, and of course, we have our main channel, Marfoogle News, on YouTube. That is at 152,000 subscribers. We have Marfoogle TV at 109,000 subscribers. It just went up again. And then, of course, we have our D-Live community of over 12,000, almost 13,000 in a couple days here, I bet. So with all these people that are underneath us, we have been talking about this for over 2 years, and whether it be an asteroid or Cascadia subduction zone, which is still on the horizon, or alien takeovers, doesn't matter. We've talked about it, and we have conversated and basically said it is just logical to make a contingency plan. Military does it, government does it. In fact, they were, somewhat prepared for this. Our military is probably doing the best, even though we have heard that, some of the training camps, some of the military installments have this. Now, some people are saying all sorts of things. There's 20,000 different theories of what this is. I want to stress that it doesn't matter what it is, really. It's the fact that we are going to have temporary travel restrictions, and we will not be able to do anything except for essential things. Now, if you want to follow along, we back up everything we say. If you're reviewing this video over on YouTube, just make sure you know that we give you links to absolutely everything. You can go to marfooglenews.com, and when you get there, it's organized by thumbnail. This is going to be the thumbnail, which is actually a true statement, which is not as fun as we would want it to be. And then, of course, Shelter in Place Ordered is the show title. It might be different over on YouTube. And then, of course, all of the articles, all of the tweets, every last thing that we're saying, we are going to give you the bibliography so you can access it yourself, or you can read along. Now, we have tabs up at the top: News, TV, CV, Shop or Store, Discord and Alerts, and Contact. You can do everything from that one bar at the top. It will give you all of the previous videos that are still there. And then, of course, it will give you access to all of the previous articles that we've shown you over the last 3 months. Again, this is a very serious situation. We want to make sure that people look at this in a very serious manner, but at the same time, we want to make sure that everyone stays calm, responsible. We need to literally change the way we're doing things right now, because the way that things are happening, it's crushing the economy, it's crushing everything. We just closed. We're going to show you that. Now I'll pull up this first. This is a huge deal. It says DT tells America to go on lockdown with 15 days to stop the CV. It says President DT on Monday released a series of CV guidelines to slow the spread that calls for a lockdown of America, including the closing of restaurants and schools. Each and every one of us has a critical role to play in stopping the spread, the president said in the White House briefing room. It says the 2-page list called 15 Days to Slow the Spread advises avoiding eating or drinking in bars, restaurants, and food courts. Use drive-through, pickup, and delivery options. It also calls on governors that have states with evidence of community transmission, like my own, to close schools in the affected areas, and it asks those states to address childcare issues as well as nutritional needs of children who use schools for their meals. So, the whole thing is everybody's talking about this like, oh, it only affects old people. One thing that I thought of during this whole thing is no matter what the reality of this is, you started to learn who's just kind of a POS. Say if there was something going around the planet and it only affected the older folks, 60 and over, that was the only people that were passing away from it, do you see how people reacted? Oh, I don't care. It's only old people. That's the attitude that some people have, and I think it's disgusting, period. Now, not saying that that's the reality of it. We don't know. There's so many unknowns in this entire thing, but when you hear somebody like that, think about what you're saying. Think about what you're actually saying, and think about how you're saying it. Now, I know there's some people that are saying, well, I'm not too worried about it because they say it only affects. I'm talking about the people on Facebook like saying, oh, well, who cares? We don't need any more of those, or, it's natural selection or this or that. It's like people are just kind of scummy around this whole thing. So with that being said, that would be assuming that all of the numbers are correct, that all of the untested, all of the things that are going on, that was correct. Okay? So that's just assuming. And we know what they say about people who assume. There's a word in there that you have to extract and put back in, and extract and put back in. The Dow, this is a big deal. This is why people are freaking out, but this is only going to make it worse. Don't freak out. We need to calm. We need to continue doing whatever we can, because our economy is crashing because of the panic. Our economy is crashing because we are panicked. Dow drops nearly 3,000 points. Now, as Dex, you said earlier, the president mentioned the word recession just in his speech, which literally sent a tailspin down. And people wonder why it took him so long to say that he's been tested. First off, my opinion about the whole testing thing is the president of the United States is the leader of the free world, and he gets tested every day for things like this. He has a phlebotomist on staff. Of course he was tested before they officially said he was tested. It didn't take 3 days to get the results. It would have been instant, and he had been tested every day. I don't think that should be a theory. I just think it's common sense. He's the president. He has a whole team of doctors that watch every little thing. If he has a sneeze, they test him for things because his role is one of the most important on the planet. So he has a full-time staff that look over his health, plan his day, make sure he eats properly, make sure he eats the healthiest things, make sure his skin looks nice, everything. And they don't normally let people speak or presidents speak when they're not well. Why? Because if the entire world sees that the number one country has a sick president that's sneezing and coughing, then it affects the stock market. Period.
Yeah, now they're testing his temperature. They're testing the temperature of everyone that comes near him. Every press conference, all the press that goes in has to have their temperature taken. I believe the first day they started it 2 days ago, they actually removed one of the press one of the press people because they had a temperature and they wouldn't allow them into the building. So, if anything, he's going to be under even more medical scrutiny now, given everything that's going on. And it's interesting when you hear him talk. Sometimes he does seem a little disconnected, and I guess he can be because he is the president. He may not be at the very bottom line, understanding all the little minutia that's going on, such as people saying, "Oh, there's price gouging." He goes, "Oh, really? Well, if that's happening, we shouldn't have that. So we'll fix that now that I've heard about it." When the rest of us had already heard about it for like a week, right? So on some regards, I guess he is really mired down in probably the much more important things than the day-to-day that we see that are important to us. So I guess there is that little bit of a disconnect with somebody at the highest position.
Well, imagine that. Imagine the stuff that's going around globally has not stopped, right? The different things in different countries, the different espionage, the different spy stuff that's going on, that has not stopped. So on top of the CV, which we're totally engrossed in, there's all of the other stuff going on with all of these other countries. So most people, even though they say, "Oh, it's all set up," they all still know that there are other countries that are actual enemies, and there's other countries that are still, there could be countries that use this to their advantage. They could pick this time as a vulnerable time to use it for conflict. That's what I don't understand.
We just had boom booms last week, right? In Ryak. So he's got to deal with all of that at the same time, right? Like the rest of the world is going on and the rest of the conflict is going on. It's exactly what you're saying.
Exactly. And yeah, the thing about this is people are looking down upon people that are saying certain things about this because they think it looks bad on the president or it's saying something bad about the president. What I'm saying is that, obviously the panic is a big part of it. Two, this is a big deal. This is huge. And this is the biggest thing we will see in our lifetimes, most likely. Hopefully the biggest, because if something's bigger than this, I don't know how to say this. The entire globe is shutting down every event across the planet. That's huge. That is meaning that none of that money is going into these businesses. Nothing's happening. I know personally, and so does Dex, people that have just lost their jobs. Your kids have lost their jobs. My cousins have lost their jobs. People have lost their jobs, at least temporarily, because they can't go to work. So think about that. For the people that live paycheck to paycheck, get paid every week or get paid every 2 weeks, all of us are screwed. So this is a big deal to everyone in the entire country. And this dropping nearly 3,000 points, wow.
And the quote, Adam, was, I believe T-Man said the U.S. economy, quote, may be sliding into a recession.
Yes, he didn't say it was, but of course, just that. Did it not affect everything?
Well, and he's always been hyping up the market. Oh, look what I just did. Friday, I had, all these great people up here on stage with me, and the market rebounded 2,000 points. It's always about the market's great, the market's great. So for him to turn around and say, well, it may be, and then he later said, the market's going to do what the market's going to do. It was like a big turnaround from, T-Man always saying the market's great, the market's great. I've made this great market. You guys are doing great. So everybody's sort of going, ooh, that doesn't sound good.
So I want to make sure you guys know the phone lines are there, but they're not open right now, and we're not going to be opening them because we're doing a normal show tomorrow. But the number is there, though, too. It has informational purposes, 224400-MARF. Of course, we have a trucker line. We just got reports in from Ohio, which I'm bringing up, and this is just a report of this. This was someone in our Discord, someone who's been with us for a long time in there, said that her cousin said a helicopter flew over and there was a spread, some sort of liquid that came misting down from a helicopter. Now, I went onto Twitter, I asked, people said, so I'll just show you, let's see if, in fact, I'll just show you if we have what it says. This was the report out of Athens County, Ohio. And if you guys live there and if you know what they're talking about, then please do. I thought maybe sanitizer. I thought maybe they're dropping, buckets of sanitizer or something. Maybe a mist that sanitizes. I don't know. I don't know how, if that's true, right? So there's 11 responses. It's only 30 minutes old. Nothing that I've seen eye to the sky. I saw a lot of helicopters in PA, white, thick, cloudy skies. I'm sick to my stomach over all this. It is because of this. D Wine has been trying to convince everyone that there's probably one of those Ohioans. Okay, so this is, by the way, we're going to go over some news that's going to just hit you right in the face. Okay, sorry. That's pretty funny. Let's hope it was something like this. And actually, I don't think anybody would be sad to see that right now. I would, because I'm like, that's not okay. Nothing in Huron County, Ohio. Please confirm. I hear they do that for tick prevention. So somebody says, because I actually tagged Ohio Department of Health. I was trying to get them to confirm. It says, I hear they do that for tick prevention. So, but the woman, by the way, said that she had to go in and shower. That's how bad she was covered with this stuff. So maybe it's totally harmless. I just wanted to pass that on. It is now just a report. So just wanted to make sure that we had that out there. Okay, and then let's see. This is California, Ohio, Illinois, Massachusetts, and Washington close bars and restaurants in effort to slow the CV. So this was big news, obviously, for those of you who are the regular at your Cheers bar. You might have to do that at home by yourself, because now it says the governors in 5 states, California, Ohio, Illinois, Massachusetts, and Washington, have closed bars, restaurants, and wineries in an effort to slow the spread of CV in other parts of the country's mayors of major cities ordered similar restrictions. So that's pretty big. Georgia, are they doing it there, or do you guys know yet?
No, I don't think we've mandated it yet, but I expect it any day now. The interesting thing I heard with a lot of these closures, they're trying to say, in some cases, they're trying to keep them open, but say, hey, you can eat in a restaurant as long as the restaurant only seats no more than 6 people at a table, and then requires that each table have a distance of 6 feet between one patron and another. And they're also saying you can't have any seating at a bar. And you can't have a bar in nightlife, and you can't serve anyone that's standing. Everyone must be in a seat, so that therefore they won't have a crowd. It's basically trying to enforce a social distancing model inside a restaurant.
So, and then if they can't do that, they just can't do it. So what I see, and we've kind of had a couple steps ahead, luckily, because we have a great military group, is that this is just the first step. They're easing into the full situation that's going to be at hand very soon, and they're going to have to do it. I told people a month ago that they're setting it up. They have to structure this, otherwise it will be a complete pandemonium. If they just said the entire country is period lockdown, cannot move, can't leave your house, I think that even if there is some scary boogeyman out there, that it would still be a much of a pandemonium. That's the thing. With this whole thing, they're doing it section by section. And I even told family a month ago, they didn't say anything. Now they're like hitting me up saying, oh my gosh, 6 counties in California. I'm like, I know. People are surprised that we weren't first. In fact, because we were the first, bad hot zone or whatever. But apparently in California, it's gotten a little bit worse. So again, there are some places that can stay open. We'll see. If you guys want to help support a broadcast like this and protect yourself, you should definitely check out EMP Shield at marfooglenews.com. It's a veteran-owned company. Not only that, though, they have their devices with the DoD, Homeland Security, and they are officially part of the DEMSO team protecting the Texas grid. What this device does is it can withstand all phases of an EMP, E1, E2, and E3, multiple times. It grounds the signal before it can fry your device, home, car, generator, solar system, even ham radio. They make a device for every different one. Here's the coolest part, though. Right now is a very special contest that is going, and they're helping bring people to all of our Foogle family channels, so make sure to go there. They are actually giving $1,000 worth of devices to 3 people, so 3 devices each for 3 people. Winners choose the device. There's multiple ways to enter, including daily bonus entries. Must go to marfooglenews.com/contest. Remember, these are how they are protecting themselves. We shouldn't depend on them. We should depend on ourselves. All right, and then we have Bay Area. So my sister texted me, and she was surprised by this. I actually knew a few hours before she did. My sister in San Mateo says, "Whoa, we're actually on lockdown, and essential, non-essential stuff is out of the question." So if you're going to the grocery store or the gas station, 6 counties in California are now shelter in place. It says Bay Area authorities place strictest order in country. Shelter in place, only essential businesses open in 6 counties. So this is a big deal. 6 counties doesn't sound like that much, but in California, 6 counties is a whole lot of people. This is millions of people that are now on lockdown, and this may be a test, or it may be the first of many. What do I think? I have my personal opinions, which are pretty much already known. I believe that this is just the first out of all, and I thought we probably should have been done first if it is what it is officially. It says the San Francisco, it says 6 Bay Area counties announced a shelter-in-place order for all residents on Monday, the strictest measure of its kind in the country, directing everyone to stay inside their homes and away from others as much as possible for the next 3 weeks as public health officials desperately try to curb the rapid spread of this across the region. It starts at 12:01 a.m. Now, remember, also, Pittsburgh did something like this at 12:01 a.m. last night. So there are several things that are going on right now. Now, by the way, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but I showed you a video of the Seattle cargo terminals. This has been a couple days now that it's been confirmed. Seattle cargo terminals close as the CV trade war, slow shipping. Here's what it means for the workers. So essentially what this is I showed you that the Matson dock, right? The Harbor Island had like 6 containers. In fact, I did drone footage from where I was able to, and that was the only dock I could legally do it without, violating airspace or whatever. So got that, and people said, no, it's because it's a Saturday. First of all, I got the footage on Friday and Saturday, and both days that thing was just dead, right? Then again, people said, oh, well, that other dock is this and that. So I went there the next Monday. Again, slowed down. It was like dwindling. Now they're closing several of these because, think about it. How much stuff do we get from China, and how much of that goes through these ports? So these ports are now sending people home. I don't know if some of these union guys are going to get some sort of unemployment for this time period, but think about all the people that are affected by this. It says so few shipping containers are coming from China that 2 Seattle marine cargo terminals shut their gates Friday, and one stopped all operations. The first time in 5 years a Seattle terminal has done so. The combined effects of the CV and the U.S.-China trade conflict have caused cargo volumes to fall by as much as 30% compared to this time last year, according to Bob Waters, Senior Vice President of Terminal Operator SSA Marine. So remember, how many weeks ago? Who was that? 3 weeks ago that I did this and I showed you guys these docks?
Yeah, we showed that, and we called it way ahead of time, Adam. And it's interesting. I also look at this article and I sort of laugh that they add the trade conflict as another reason. Now, it may have a small effect, but we all know the real reason why these ports are closing.
The trade conflict, those things were still bustling crazy. I mean, just nuts.
That's just their dig at the T-man part of this. Part of your world there.
I get you.
But yeah, this is definitely totally related to CV. We've seen it. We knew it. We called it months ago. We said it back in January that there's going to be this ripple effect, and you're going to all of a sudden see that there's no products, no shipping, no containers.
I also want to bring up too something very important as well. The vibe here. If you are in other parts of the country that are not affected yet, what is it actually doing? What I will tell you is some freaky stuff has been happening. We were driving on a long highway next to, I believe it's called the Cedar Creek Trail or something. We were going to visit family while we still can. And we were coming back, and all of these cars were parked along, and it was nighttime, and they were passing through a golf course to the trail, and they all had their stuff and headlamps on. And I'm like, what is this? It's not a place to park. It's the side of like a little freeway, and all these people were doing stuff. But then what we ended up finding out is that these people were literally basically setting up a little place in the woods outside of their homes. And these are like normal people, nice cars, and they're basically loading up stuff. And then there's another thing that's happening is people are hiding their valuables out in the woods. The people that are not able to purchase bang bangs, they are actually hiding their stuff because they think that it's going to get stolen or something, and they don't have a way to protect themselves. You're saying, well, why don't they just go get one? Even if you have the ability to purchase a weapon now, you, in this state, we were the first state to enact that you actually have to have a 10-day background check, even if you're buying off of a gun show or from a person. The only kind of loopholes that are in place is if you have a family member that gifts you one, or you get different parts in separate places, like get the lower receiver of something and then this and that, and you get separate parts. But other than that, people want, of course, you've heard about it all over the country. People are rushing to get, things like that, and they are not, they're not able to, or at least not in the time frame they want to. So that's been happening. Then I've noticed there's a couple parks that I've seen that never have anybody. There's always like one truck at this one place that I drive by, and it's literally a homeless man that literally collects metal and stuff like that. This had 40, 50 cars in it, and it's next to a trail. The reason why people are doing that is because they're getting out and walking. They're doing things they don't normally do. Everybody here knows that it's about to get locked down, so everybody's going outside. They're doing day hikes. Like, there's some positive things to this too. People are going out and literally smelling the roses. It's kind of amazing. I've seen more people at the parks and hanging out and sitting out in the grass and all this than I ever have before. If you guys are locals, please let me know if you see anything weird too. Tell me in the chat. Now, if you're watching the replay on this on Marfoogle News, this is meant to be a main news update to keep some of those who only come to us for their news as some of the main stuff. So I digress. I thank you guys for watching.
Adam, if I can add to the bang bang thing you were talking about, here in Georgia, which is a very pro Second Amendment area, right? We've got no waiting periods. It's real easy. My friend who works at the courthouse, where they actually process CCP or concealed carry permits, as we call them here, they have stopped. They put a rule in place that says no more applications, because they say they don't want anybody coming in the door and they don't want to deal with the public. But you can no longer get a permit now in my county.
This is what I'm talking about. You can't even get it if you wanted to, even if you were legal, legit, everything. This is not fun stuff. France. And by the way, so we're behind, right? So all of these other places are ahead. France, Europe, UK is ahead. And look at what they're doing. It says, out of Paris, France will deploy 100,000 police to enforce a lockdown ordered by Emmanuel Macron. Aimed at curbing the CV outbreak, the country's interior minister said on Monday, and fixed checkpoints will be set up across the country. Fixed checkpoints across the country.
These are our allies.
Need I say more? These are our allies. These are
other free nations.
Yes.
Right? These are the foreshadows of what you guys need to think about.
So, again, internet is going to be affected. My show is going to be affected. I don't know what I'm going to do. I know a lot of we're a family, right? We're all experiencing this. That's what's so amazing about this. I've seen on D Live, and everywhere else, everyone is affected. My buddy Crazy Keith over here on D Live, he is in UK, London. He now knows somebody who was affected by this. Now you've got people in China, South Africa. Megan, do you remember Megan who came on our show? She was in China during the lockdown, and she, through the grace of God, Green Bay Wacky, Cab 7, and a bunch of others, they raised enough money for her to fly from China. She had to go through all these loopholes, 14-day, whatever, all the loopholes, go through getting a car, to the train, to the plane, to China. And now South Africa is now locked down as well. So she went from lockdown to now the beginning of a different kind of lockdown. South Africa is now restricting travel. All sorts of stuff is going on. So again, this is crazy. Also, something that we did not put in here I want to mention, if you ever did want to fly, this would be the time. Me and Dex were sitting there back and forth laughing about this, and it's not funny. Flights from Seattle to New York, $117 round trip.
Yeah, I had 24 Atlanta LAX at one point.
Georgia to LAX for $24. That's $12 each way on a aeroplane. It was $832 from Seattle to Sydney, Australia, which is normally $3-4 grand. What?
On Thursday, my mother flew home from Arizona to Atlanta, and there was barely 60 people on the whole plane. So there's nobody flying right now. I mean, there are plenty of people flying in internationally, and I don't know if any of you've seen some of the lines in Chicago and New York and other places where they're just crowds of people all waiting to get past the checkpoints. But yeah, outside of that, the rest of domestic travel is not happening. A lot of people have backed off, which is, I guess, the smart thing to do. I have no desire to be on an airplane right now. I think it would probably not be a wise thing, and that's probably why they sell them for $20 now.
Well, and mind you, so everything that's going down, my state is going to be affected first. I am literally, and I'll tell you guys this right now. I thank you guys for your support. I'm serious about this. I really hope that we can get through this. Like, there's a lot of the times where we have to keep doing the show no matter what. I really do appreciate you guys supporting. I just got a text from a family member. I'm not kidding you guys. This is serious. It doesn't matter what you think about the thing. The lockdowns are going to be real. I am so praying that it's 2 or 3 weeks and then we're all out of it, right? What happened in China is they lifted the restrictions for something like 30 minutes, and it was crazy, and they put it back on. So I thought that they were supposed to be 2 weeks. It's now been like in the months period. So I am praying to my God. I believe in Jesus Christ, and I certainly hope that we can figure this out, and I hope that everybody calms down. I hope that the economy gets back to normal. But I think many of you guys know we've been talking about something big coming, and it's here. And what do we do now, right? You can't even gather. You can't even It makes me think back to different times, like 2015 when they did that big 4-state thing. It starts with a J and ends up at the helm. So I feel like there's a lot of really crazy stuff going on, and we all have to go through this together. I feel like the internet is most likely going to have some issues. So if I can't reach you, just know I hope that our ham radio operating group is active right now. What's funny is they just said in California they were like going to take down the repeaters for that. The ham radio repeater towers. So that's what, repeats the signal. Just super weird. National nightmare. 1 in 5 Americans expect they'll be diagnosed with this. And this is, again, according to an official study. Just as fear over the spread of CV has gripped the nation, so too has speculation over the level of precaution people should be taking since President DT declared a national emergency. Many families are hunkering down during this unsettling period, heeding suggestions by experts to practice social distancing. So, I'm sure there's people out there that are just like, I want to get it over with, right? Just so I know. I don't know what this is, but I do know that something is definitely happening, and it's across the globe. It's global. It is in every country. It's on every continent except for Antarctica, and that's just because humans don't exist on Antarctica. This is really, really nuts. And this is everybody's backup plan. Oh, well, we'll just get it on Amazon. Amazon warns of delivery delays. Amazon warned of delayed deliveries and items going out of stock as the CV outbreak continues to spread. The online retailer said that the increase in people shopping online is having a short-term impact on how it serves customers. Quote, in particular, you will notice that we are currently out of stock on some popular brands and items, especially in household staples. Now, it says we are working around the clock and with our selling partners to ensure availability on all of our products and bring additional capacity to deliver all of your orders. Amazon included a note at the top of its website telling customers inventory and delivery may be temporarily unavailable due to increased demand. Confirm availability at checkout. So they're basically saying there's a ton of stuff being ordered right now. Don't know if it's there. They're taking many orders. I have now received at least 3 emails and then at least 2 tweets saying that they ordered something, fully went through, paid for it. After a day, they said this is no longer there. So they actually confirmed they thought they had it, and then they said sorry. And this happened to me on a Lego set, by the way. This was before this ever happened. That actually happened where it was before Christmas, and it was a special one that I was getting for my nephew. And they said that, sorry, we must have done a double order or something. So basically, 2 people ordered the same thing. This is what I'm hearing is happening to everybody, though. So are they really out of stuff, or is it just a temporary thing? We don't know. But obviously, I would not have that as your contingency. I would say get enough stuff for like a good month. But above that, don't go buying a year worth of crap, because then other people can't get it. This is down to the wire where we all need to be, somebody like Dex and myself, we need to be examples for you guys, because honestly, this is getting absolutely out of control. But
you got to be smart about what it is you get, right? And, like buying, a year's supply of TP is absolutely stupid. Like, you don't need it. It's actually made in America. And there's plenty of it here. It comes from trees, and they're all over the place. So they're going to keep making it. And if everybody runs and buys it, it'll be back on
It's not a natural resource. You know what I'm saying? It's not salt. It's not.
But looking at all those container ships that are not coming in from China, right? And then you see a message that says we're running low on products. We'll put 2 and 2 together there. Okay. If there's something you're getting and you think you need it, and it's coming from a place where that supply is now cut off, that's where you need to pay attention. But some of these other things people are buying are just ridiculous.
Somebody said, Samaria Sadakai, thank you for your support, by the way, says, Mickey D's up here let a lady pay for her food with toilet paper. That that has to be a joke, right? Samaria Sag, and I believe you. That's nuts. That is nuts. So I've got some serious currency in my garage. So I could trade TP for McDonald's. I wonder if that works at Taco Bell, but then you would need to ask for it back after you ate it. Never mind. Either way, there's some pretty... Here's the bleak thing, okay? What is going on outside when this happens? We don't know. But what we do know, you don't have to have a crystal ball to see this. Our military group, some of our military group too, are pretty and I guess I'm trying to figure out what I can say and what I can't. Most states, including Hawaii, all of these different groups are preparing for the same thing. They're all sending the same type of message. It's compartmentalized, so they all look a little bit different. That's the whole thing we've taken calls on before. In fact, that ex-intelligence officer called in. He said, I'm not going to call in and say I know a bunch of secret stuff. He said, what it's about is it's compartmentalized. So you might have one little piece of the puzzle, but it's useless to everyone. But if you have 10 people with one piece, then all of a sudden you have the puzzle. I will say this. There are some things that I would not say on here because they are theories and they are opinions. And here, this show is to make sure that you know the news. So I am really praying that in this next couple days, it is not as bad as our military groups make it out to be. But even if it is, we can still be calm. We can still continue as best we can. As far as all of this goes, I think that we really need to pay attention to what's going on. We need to pay attention to the internet. The internet is most likely going to have issues. And when it does happen and you're like, I remember him saying something about that, just remember all of this. So I just hope that you guys are part of the alerts. Again, you guys should go to our Discord. If, while this still works, make sure to connect with your locals. Make sure to connect with people near you. We have 50 state groups, and all of these people are meeting all the time. They were meeting in person. We temporarily put the kibosh on that, or at least some groups are still meeting in person, by the way. And they say they'll never stop, which I think is amazing. But again, just as a leader, I have to say, hey, maybe you guys should meet on Skype for a couple weeks. But Discord, marfooglenews.com, you can go up to the top of the website and it's there. You can go to any of the articles that I showed you here today. We back everything up we say. And then again, it's absolutely crazy out there. So I appreciate each and every one of you.
Adam, I have one last thought I'd like to make, if you don't mind. Everybody that is, preparing for yourself and preparing for your immediate family, with all the school closures, there's a lot of kids that have used that time in school as a break from the home life that may not have been a really good home life for them. For example, maybe they're, they have a really bad home life in their home where they're mistreated or whatever. And now that is getting amplified because they don't have that place to get away from, to go to have that break during the day, or that break for many hours a day. So if you know anybody, children, young people that are in a situation like that, I know we're not trying to congregate and bring people together, but go out of your way to maybe invite them to do something so that they do have more of that opportunity to have that break. I've seen a lot of that happening around here. And it's pretty heartbreaking to see that type of struggle on the home front.
And I'm seeing comments like Fabo Sr. says they will shut down or we can't communicate with one another anymore. We don't know about that. We don't know anything right now. We just have feelings, and feelings can be wrong. Seaglass Love, thank you guys. Top contributors of this stream and this broadcast, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Mini 70, thank you for being number one. Carol Palmer, thank you for being my number one. Pat Leading Fox, thank you for being my number one. Kitty Rose, thank you for being my number one. And Samaria Saktisai, thank you for being my number one. But seriously, all of you guys, thank you for supporting us through this as well. This is just nuts. We're trying to get out as much information. Behind the scenes, there's a lot of stuff working against us. So we appreciate each and every one of you that actually goes in there. Karma is here, says people in my area heard T-Man should be declaring an act, the Stafford Act, 2 mandatory quarantines. Rusty Bumper, hey, listen to the Aussie Prime Minister. Canada is blessed. Folks, come to Discord. Great. That's a great suggestion. Mercy Anonymous. Blondie 58. Tennessee Lady Trucker. Frankly, I think they're shutting stuff down to get G installed everywhere. I don't know. But what I do know is that there's a lot of stuff that is all going to go down in the next few weeks, and we have to be super strong. We literally have to be the strongest family there is. So if you don't know somebody, reach out to them. Just give them something positive. Say something positive to them. Push each other up. Say, we will get through this. We'll be fine. We'll be good. Obviously, it kind of comes back to when we had them saying Jayu and saying, like, you know, we're strong. I think we need to be right now. Kelly2334, thank you. Bones, thank you. Thank you to everyone else. Stormy7572, thank you. I appreciate it. Don't worry, it will be over on other platforms as well, and we will make sure to have this available. We're going to continue our normal show tomorrow. Hopefully nothing happens in between there and now. We're going to be taking calls from all around the country. So again, if you have a story to tell, if you have something that this has affected, call in tomorrow's show. We will be announcing the time tomorrow on Twitter, through notifications, through alert. I want to get as many callers as possible. I want to see what is really going on in this country. So it's going to be a very special show. We're going to talk about whatever, maybe a couple key topics. Also, I'm trying to get Jacob Israel, and then Edge of Wonder and myself are trying to connect again as well. So there's a lot of things popping up in the future shows. Thank you. Stay tuned. If you're on Marfoogle News, remember, we have our live call-in show over on Marfoogle TV. Just same spelling, TV instead of news. You're missing out. We knew we had this going 3 months ago. All right, thank you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. There's too many people to say thank you to this time. Rogelio, thank you. I appreciate all of you guys. I wish I could see everybody there. And then Pat Leading Fox, Carol Palmer, Minnie 70, Sweet Melissa, April Osborne. I appreciate you guys. Lady GT476. You guys are all awesome supporters, so I appreciate each and every one of you. Absolutely crazy. All right. Peace, love. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marf out.
Want to know what's going on? What's really going on when it happens? Go to marfooglenews.com and get Marfoogle alerts along with a Discord invitation where you can find your local state group and get together with the Foogle fam. You'll find fast friends where you'll share prep and intel, and there's even special groups for former and current military. But don't try and steal the valor of those who have really served. It won't go well for you. The Marfoogle fam is waiting for you.